benefits from 2020 to 2021. The only change is a premium increase. So last year, or I guess this year, 2020, City of Sterling is in a rate band 1. Next year, we will be in a rate band 2. So there's an approximate 4% increase in your premium, which is actually really good compared to the rest of the country. Their premiums have gone up higher than ours, luckily. So we're just gonna get right into the plans offered. Again, City of Sterling is offering the exact same plans as this year, Plan A and Plan B 1000. Nothing has changed with either of these. Plan A, there is no deductible. Plan B, the deductible is a $1,000 deductible for individual, $2,000 for family. But everything else remains the same. Still same out-of-pocket max, $3,500 for individual for Plan A, $9,000 for family, $4,250 for individual, $10,500 for family for the B1000 plan. Dental, we're still offering A and B, same benefits. Dental premiums have not changed; they remain the same from 2020 to 2021. Only thing to remember is that impacted wisdom teeth, that will come out of your medical plan. Normal extraction of wisdom teeth will come out of your dental. For life insurance, City of Sterling offers the dependent life and the supplemental life. If you do not have either, Anthem has decided to waive the underwriting for open enrollment for 2021. So if you want to add either the dependent life for your dependents or supplemental life, you don't have to go through the underwriting process during open enrollment. And that's up to the guaranteed issue amount of $100,000 for employee, $20,000 for a spouse. Just some reminders, deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums will reset to 0 on January 1st. Same with prescriptions, it's a separate deductible from your medical. And open enrollment is really a time to update your address if you need to. You will only get a new ID card if you change anything about your plan. If you don't change anything, then you can use the exact same ID card that you have today. So changes include moving from one plan to another, adding dental or adding dependents. We still offer the flu shot reimbursement up to 100% of the reasonable and customary rate. Health care reimbursement up to $40 per year. Live health online is an option, especially in these times, so you can talk to a doctor through a web chat. And that just works the same way as a normal doctor's visit. You'll still do that copay, and it's just a good option for 2020 right now. And then, if you need a new ID card, you can reach out to Anthem Customer Service. Go online to anthem.com or call me at CHP, and I will send you a new one. Just some COVID-19 information. We are still covering the testing for COVID through the end of the year. Antibody test has to be ordered by a doctor, but if you have that ordered, then we will cover that as well. If you end up getting COVID-19, the process to pay for that is anything towards your deductible. It'll just work with your plan. And then for 2021, we don't know what's going to happen yet, so we will let Kayla know, and she will let you all know once we figure out if we're going to cover testing through the new year. And that's it for me.
So again, my name is Sean. I'm going to go through what is available to all of you guys through Aflac, and then we'll be available afterwards to answer any questions for those of you that can stick around. So I guess first and foremost, I'd like to start out asking, are you guys aware of Aflac? So I think I heard you say that you were fairly new. So are you familiar with Aflac? No?
Not really.
Okay. So have you seen the duck commercials?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how everybody knows this, right? Is this duck. So one thing to go through first is to kind of explain what Aflac isn't. So she just went through everything as far as the health insurance piece. We're all familiar with health insurance, how it pays the hospitals and doctors. What Aflac does is put money back in your guys' pocket. You decide how this money is spent. So I'm going to go through some things with you here in a minute that we can custom to fit your budget and your concern based off of your lifestyle and maybe a little bit of your family history. Again, you have to file a claim with Aflac. The money comes back to you. If you need to help pay that $3,500 deductible or out-of-pocket max on your health insurance, by all means, you can do that. Or if you're like the rest of us and you need to just make sure we stay afloat and keep a roof over our head, put food on the table, gas in the car, the money can go wherever you need it to. She mentioned a rate or a premium increase, which is pretty common with health insurance. By the city of Sterling allowing us to offer AFLAC on top of the group rates that you guys get about a 40 to 60% cost savings on all the programs. It is also portable, so for whatever reason you take an opportunity away from here, you can take whatever you have in place and you can port it directly to a checking account. You take it with you everywhere you go. And then the other reason, or the other way I would say that we're different than health insurance is your rates are locked in at the guaranteed issue rates that you enroll at. If you leave here, you take it with you, your rates will never increase year to year. Doesn't matter how much you have to utilize it, how many claims you have to file a year, your rates will stay the same. Every paycheck, you know exactly what you're going to be seeing coming out of your paycheck. So I'm going to stop there before I go into any of the things in the folders. Do you guys have any questions about that? No? Okay, so if you open up the folder, I'm going to go outline what it is that's in there, and then I'll detail a few of the plans. So first and foremost, there's a sheet on one side that says an interest sheet or an application information. It's just an interest sheet. At the end of this, what I would like to do is at least collect those from you so I know that I've seen you. If something sticks out to you, put a note on there and a good contact information. What I'll do is I'll text you one time. If I don't hear back from you, you'll get a second text. If I don't get a response back from you, I'm going to assume that it's not a fit, but at least I've got your flyer saying that we've got a chance to at least present this to you and you know what's available. Your guys' effective date isn't until January 1st, so you don't see anything reflect on what you're taking home until after the holidays, so that's good. So if you can fill that out for me so I can collect that before you leave. So now I'm going to dive into a couple of the programs that we can make available to you guys, and I'll open it up for any questions there at the end, like Kayla said. So the first one that I'm going to outline is an accident plan. So how many of you have ever had to go to the hospital or doctor and be treated for any type of an injury? All of us, right? At some time in our life. So you're looking at a guy that rode bulls for 17 years, so I've seen the inside of a hospital a few times. Took a few rides in an ambulance. So this is a plan that I had in place for myself since I was 18. This is our accident indemnity plan. This covers you 24 hours around the clock, whether you're on or off the job. Of course, we intend it to cover you away from work because you have health insurance and workers' comp that helps pay for your medical expenses if you're injured on the job. So if you flip over to the second page in, you're going to see what's called a benefit overview. This will allow you to follow along with me. So how this plan works is for any of the slips, trips, falls, you break a leg, you cut your finger open, anything that requires you to be treated due to an injury, AFLAC will pay you money based off of your treatment. So I'm going to start at the bottom. You see where my finger is here? You can see a $48,000 amount. So she just outlined some of the life insurance options that you guys have available to you. This has a built-in $48,000 accidental death life insurance policy that comes with the plan. That's no additional cost. That covers you at $48,000, a spouse at $48,000, and if you're covering any dependents under the age of 26, it covers them at $15,000. So now I'm going to start up here at the top. Usually we outlive our injuries. So if you have to go and be treated, you can see the second line item down. There's a $160 amount. That's for emergency treatment benefit of just walking into a doctor's office, ER, urgent care. AFLAC will start the claim at $160. So just think of what you make for a day's worth of work if you're not able to come in here and work because you slip and fall on some ice and you need to go and be treated. There's $160 getting reimbursed to you for your day of work. Now if you have to get x-rays, it comes with additional $30. Each follow-up visit, you'll get $55. Now you see that $1,500 amount. If you have to spend 18 hours or longer admitted to a hospital bed, AFLAC pays you $1,500 for that first day, $300 each day after that, up to an entire year. It increases to $2,400 if you're in the ICU, and then you get that additional $400 for each day that you're in an ICU bed. Middle section here, you can see it says specific sum benefit. AFLAC pays you a specific sum of money per injury as well. So if you have a dislocated finger versus a dislocated hip, it's going to pay completely different. So it's all based on the severity. Then down here on the side, you see benefits like physical therapy. Each time I had to go in and have a shoulder surgery, I had to go through physical therapy before I get released to full duty work. That pays you $35. You get 10 of those per each injury. Appliance benefit, if you have to get something to help make you mobile, like crutches, wheelchair, walking boot, things like that. And then ambulance, transportation, and lodging. How many of you guys have been around here for quite a while? So some of you might be familiar with the last name Gilliland. There was a young man that was ejected out of a car a couple years ago, suffered a traumatic brain injury, spent four months in the ICU in Children's Hospital, and then 4 months in the rehab facility at the Craig's facility. This is a plan that was able to put a lot of money back in his family's pocket, afforded him to be able to meet their deductible 2 times over, and allowed the mom to be able to stay at home with her kid while he was healing. So that's an accident plan. I'll ask you, since I know you're the newbie, I like to pick on the new people. What do you think something like this would cost you on a monthly basis?
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot. Throw a number at me.
$150 a month.
So, because Kayla and Bob, your HR department, allows us to be here, that's a plan that for you on an individual basis is $12 a paycheck. So if you decide to cover a spouse or kids, the premium's not increasing or doubling every time you add somebody. It's going to increase just a little bit. If you have a family, you want to cover a whole family, you can cover multiple people, and it's going to be locked in at one rate that won't increase. So I'm going to go through the next plan with you. That is our hospital choice plan. This is fairly new. We've had this out the last couple years. The last plan I went through, remember, that's anything injury related. For those of you that might be more concerned about illnesses, we're in a pandemic because of COVID. If that's something that concerns you, maybe you've been affected by it or you've seen somebody be affected by it. This plan here covers you for both illnesses as well as injuries. So again, if you open it up to the second page in, you'll see $4 amounts at the top. What that allows you to do is it gives you the flexibility to choose what's the best fit for you based off of maybe your health insurance. Maybe you go with a higher deductible health plan, and you need more money in your pocket if you have to be treated. For a hospital confinement of 23 hours or longer, you pick the dollar amount you'd want to receive. So if you pick the $2,000 amount, that's $2,000 in your pocket when you're trying to reach a $3,500 out-of-pocket max for one of those plans. So this can help you supplement your major medical. That's why voluntary benefits are referred to as gap insurance or gap coverage. So maybe the $2,000 option is a little bit steep for your budget. You can start down at the lower amount. So again, none of these are real cookie cutter. We can customize this to fit any budget. It's going to pay you a couple ER visits a year at $150. The middle section are called riders. We can add or we can eliminate these. They come with doctor visits at $45 a piece. You get 3 of those per year. Lab tests and x-rays. You get some ambulance benefits if you need to be transported by ground or by air. And then you have a hospital stay and surgical care rider down here at the bottom. If you have to have some type of a surgical procedure, it helps reimburse you. The big benefit that I talked about on here is they did increase the ICU benefit to $500 a day, up to 30 days of being in the ICU. Now I'm going to go through one more plan that I'm going to detail fairly detailed, and then I'm going to get out of your guys' way. The next plan here is our short-term disability. So I would venture to say all of you guys show up to earn a paycheck, and that paycheck is pretty vital to your way of life, right? So short-term disability is what helps put money in your pocket if you're not able to work due to an illness or an injury. Short-term disability will cover up to about 60% of your overall gross annual income. How disability works is it's based off of each of your own personal income, so the cost will be different for everybody in here. And then it's based on how long do you want to be covered for, and how quick can you or do you need to get paid, or how I like to say is how long can you go without a paycheck. So you see some numbers here, anywhere from 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, clear up to 24 months. That's your coverage option of how long AFLAC will pay you short-term disability if you have to use it. The common coverage is usually 3 to 6 months. That allows us to get by for a few months and then figure out what the future looks like. And then the 07, 014, those numbers determine how quick you get paid. So a 0-7 elimination period is gonna be the fastest paying option. The 0 is gonna cover you for an injury. So if I get injured and I can't work and a doctor says, hey, because of that broken leg, you need to be off your feet for the next 2 months, you can't go and do what you do at your job. Meaning I can't perform my daily activities. Aflac will pay me from the day that claim, or that day that the doctor says I can't work, the first day. Now if it's COVID, if it's cancer, if it's any other type of an illness, you see the 7 covers you for an illness. So if I'm out of work for a month due to any type of an illness, I get paid for 3 weeks, because that first 7 days is a waiting period. Now the further out you bump those elimination periods, some of you might have a little bit of a nest egg where you might be able to get by a couple weeks. Maybe you have a dual income household where your income isn't directly relying on you, or your household isn't directly reliant on you. You can bump those elimination periods out, and that's gonna lower your cost in premium. So the reason why I highlight these as detailed as I can is they all pay across the top of each other. If I get injured, I get hospitalized, and I can't work, I file a claim across all 3 and I get paid from all 3 of them. If I'm just sick and I'm not able to work, then I would be able to file a claim across both of these. So it's a great way to cross cover yourself. We sit down and we'll budget with you to make sure that what you guys are looking at is gonna be budget friendly. But those are kind of our 3 core plans. Last one I'm gonna go through is our cancer plan. Have any of you sitting here been through a cancer diagnosis, witnessed somebody going through cancer diagnosis? No? A couple of you? Okay. So this plan here, do any of you have any kids under the age of 26? No? Okay. So just know that in the future, if you do have any kids and you're covering yourself on a cancer plan, they're automatically covered for free. This is actually the plan that Aflac was pioneered off of, was our cancer plan. So if you turn the page in here, you'll see an initial diagnosis benefit over here on the side where my finger's at. If you was to go in and do an annual checkup, use your health insurance to go get your annual physical, and they was to do a scan, or they was to look at your blood levels or something, see something was off, and they diagnosed you with an internal cancer, Aflac will pay you a $4,000 benefit right off the bat. Sometimes cancer is something that a simple treatment, and maybe you're good to go. Maybe it's a simple procedure, you're good to go. If there's ongoing treatment like chemo or radiation, this plan pays you $1,200 per calendar month for physician-administered chemo and radiation. And the thing is there is no max on that. So I've seen people have this plan in place and go through treatment 3 or 4 years at a time, and either they beat it or it beats them. But the thought process is if you're going through treatment, you're probably not able to come in and work full time, so you have a huge cut on your paycheck. Probably your spouse is gonna be missing work as well because they're taking care of you. What would $1,200 a month do for your household if you're not able to work? From there, you'll see other benefits. Stem cell bone marrow transplant. Down here towards the bottom on the first page, you can see that it has a hospital confinement benefit of $200 a day if it's 30 days or less. It doubles if it's 31 days or more. And then over here on the other side, things I highlight is transportation and lodging. In small town Sterling, if you're diagnosed, probably your treatment options are going to be elsewhere. So this does pay 40 cents a mile for treatment, or sorry, for transportation, and then it does pay $65 a day for lodging. So again, we'll be available after she goes through her information with you guys if you have any questions.
All right. Hi, I'm Mindy. I'm with Legal Shield. You have 2 plans with Legal Shield. One is legal, one is identity theft. I'm going to go through the identity theft plan first just because it's become so top of mind lately, especially all of the breaches that keep happening these last couple of years. It seems like there's a significant breach just about every other week. And then ever since COVID, there's been a lot more scams that have been out there. ID thieves have gotten really busy while all of us were in quarantine. And so there's been an increase in especially unemployment scams, stimulus check scams, so a lot of things that use your social security number. So it's really important for you to have some kind of monitoring in place that's going to alert you if you have an issue with your identity. It's even more important that you have restoration on your behalf. There's been a lot of free monitoring that's been offered out of breaches, or maybe your bank or your credit card offers something free. But monitoring without restoration is kind of like the fire department calling up and saying, your house is on fire, and then not doing anything about it. Not what you would want, right? Monitoring with restoration, like what we do with ID Shield, is like the fire department calling up and saying, your house was on fire, we put out the fire, we've hired the builders, they're here right now, they're rebuilding your house, and we're giving you $1 million insurance policy. That's what we do with ID Shield. So it's monitoring and restoration for all areas of identity theft, not just your credit. So we're going to be monitoring for things like your name, your date of birth, your social security number, your driver's license number, your passport number. Those are numbers that we just can't change, and they're going to be bought, used, and sold for years to come. You're going to get a monthly credit score, so you always know where your credit score is at, continuous credit monitoring, short-term loan monitoring. If you do the family plan, it'll also cover a spouse with all that monitoring and restoration as well. And your children under age 18 will look for the buying or selling of a child's social security number, existence of a credit file on them, because 1 in 10 kids has someone else using their social security number. The way the ID Shield works is there's an app that you can put on your phone, and it pushes out an alert and just says, was this you, yes or no? So you can say right away, yes, this was me, I'm changed my address because I moved. No, this wasn't. It prompts you to contact your licensed private investigator. They go on your behalf to fully restore you back to pre-theft status, no matter how long that takes. It means you're not on your short lunch break, trying to call Social Security, trying to call the IRS, trying to handle this on your own, trying to figure out what to do. And then there's $1 million insurance policy that kicks in for any out-of-pocket loss that ID Shield isn't able to recover for you. It'll even recover things like lost wages. So if you did have to do something physically and had to take a day off of work that the licensed private investigators couldn't do for you, like fingerprint or file a police report or something like that, they would reimburse you for lost wages as well. Any questions on the ID Shield? So the ID Shield employee only, it's $4.13 a pay period. Really affordable benefit. Full family, it's $8.75 a pay period. Gonna go through the legal benefit next. It's halfway down the page on the left-hand side. So the legal benefit is meant to handle anything stressful in life, anything that you have going on. This isn't just a big like LA law type of issues or that kind of thing. It can be an issue with your neighbor or your landlord or your mortgage company. It can even be consumer protection, like you buy a dishwasher for your house and when it's not working right and the warranty isn't being honored, you have one to turn to. So we just say, since it's unlimited, pick up the phone, contact your law firm, find out if you're right or wrong, find out if they can do something for you. Because often they'll write a letter, they'll make a phone call on your behalf, it's included in your benefits. So example for me, I have T-Mobile, I live way up in the mountains, our tower was down for 3 days in a row. Called T-Mobile hoping that they'd reimburse me, do the right thing, right? But you guys know how this goes, right? So they bumped me up to their highest supervisor and they said they couldn't reimburse me, but they would sell me a booster for my home instead. Not what I was asking for. So I contacted the law firm. Next law firm said, we'll write a letter to T-Mobile, just see what happens. Well, off my next bill came the exact reimbursement that I was asking for. T-Mobile never even called me back later to say, hey, we're now going to reimburse you because we heard from your lawyer, but that's what they were thinking. They'll review contracts and documents, so the biggest thing is we just say stop before you sign and send it through the law firm. With the app, you can take pictures of contracts, so it sends it off to the law firm right away. It makes it really easy and efficient. So if you're going to lease an apartment, have your lease agreement reviewed. Your kid at college is going to lease an apartment, have their lease agreement reviewed. You're going to buy a house, have your mortgage document reviewed. You are going to buy a car, have your car purchase contract reviewed. I was buying a car at one of the dealerships in Denver just recently. I stopped before I signed and sent it through the law firm. They called me back and they said, looks pretty standard, just what you'll see anytime you're at a dealership. But see if they'll take off this one line item right here. It's for $800. We want to let you know, it's called the dealer prep fee. We want to let you know that's essentially a car wash and vacuum for $800. So I went back to the dealership and I said, my attorney said to take this off right here. And they took it out of my car purchase contract because it was my attorney that said that, not me whining that I didn't want to pay that. And then one of the biggest things that we want you to know this year and City of Sterling wants you to know is your will is included with Legal Shield. This is absolutely free. This is your will, your living will, your healthcare power of attorney. If you have children, a minor child trust, and it can be updated every year. The will package that the law firm does, this is usually $1,000, so it's a huge value. Definitely, it's a good year to get that done. Just, it's kind of become more top of mind because there's a pandemic going on, but also because a lot of family members are being shut out of hospitals. And so it's really important for you to have that living will and healthcare power of attorney, so you're saying what you want to have happen with the doctors, and you also want to name somebody who can make medical decisions on your behalf. So even if you don't have a lot of assets, definitely get that in place. And then Legal Shield also does a whole bunch of just-in-case benefits. Some of those are like speeding ticket assistance, so it's moving traffic violations. The law firm will go with you or on your behalf to traffic court if you were to get a speeding ticket, moving traffic violation. My 17-year-old son got in an accident last summer. He had a 3-point ticket with the accident. The law firm went on his behalf to traffic court. They got his ticket down to 0 points, which meant my insurance didn't go up because he got that ticket. He still had to pay a minor fine, which was, good consequence for him, not a consequence for me with my insurance going up. They'll represent you for an IRS audit, represent you for a personal civil lawsuit. And then they do a 25% discount off of additional legal services. So like for divorce or child custody or bankruptcy, you can decide if you want to use our law firm at a 25% discount. You'll get a quote of how much it's going to be. Then you can shop around and make sure it's going to be cost effective for you. Any questions on the legal benefits? And then everybody has member perks. It's like an employee discount buying program. There's about 400 retailers that are going to give you a discount for just being a Legal Shield or ID Shield member. So some of those places are like Verizon, it's 8% off your plan without even changing your plan. There's discounts off of vision, like 1-800-CONTACTS has a great discount. There's discounts off of dental without having to go see a dentist, so like Bite or Candid, those are the Invisalign liners. There's discounts off of pet insurance, like Nationwide Pet Insurance. So check your member perks, and that way you might be saving more than you have deducted from your paycheck for Legal Shield. This is the enrollment form right here. Kayla, when do you want everybody to turn in enrollment forms by?
By the 13th.
By the 13th of November. All right. Is that on a Friday this year?
Second Friday in November.
Friday the 13th. All right. So everybody turn in your enrollment form by then. And just let any of us know, this is why we're here, if you guys have any questions. And thank you so much for showing up for the open enrollment meeting.
Well, good morning, everyone. Appreciate the invite to be here today. I'm Bob Walters. I'm with Medevac. I spent 37 years in the pre-hospital care arena. I flew for Medevac for 17, and now I'm doing marketing for their membership program. For those of you who may not be familiar with this membership program, this is a true membership program. It is not a supplemental insurance. And the distinction between the two, we are tied to the 911 system, so we are the help. We provide the services. We own all of our aircraft. Staff is all part of our company. Over half of all air ambulances in the United States are part of our company. And like I said, we provide the help. Therefore, we can write off whatever we choose to write off of a bill should you be flown. Supplemental insurances, they pay the bill, right? So with our membership, the basic membership, we have 6 different plans that you can choose from, but the basic plan costs $65 a year, and that covers everybody who lives in your home. If you or anybody in your home, whether they're related to you or not, we also cover kids that are away at college, need to be flown, and they're flown, we will bill your insurance. We only accept what your insurance pays as payment in full, and you don't ever receive a bill for co-pays, deductibles, or any unpaid balances that your insurance might not pay. We are the only membership company in the world that offers a 100% guarantee that you will have no out-of-pocket costs for that flight, and that's huge. There are other membership offerings out there. AAA has one, NRA has one, Good Sam's has one. There's a company called Massa that has one. But again, those are all supplemental insurance plans. After the fact, your claim goes to underwriting, to the adjusters. They look at your claim and they make a determination of how much they're going to pay, or if they're going to pay. I always tell people, when you're considering a membership like this, or even your health insurance for that matter, you should always read through the explanation of benefits to understand what they mean. Most insurance plans you will see have a small little paragraph in them that says air ambulance transportation will be covered, but it's so important that you read the body of that paragraph and understand what they're talking about. When they talk about your flight will be covered for any medical necessity or anything that's deemed to be medically necessary, that is their determination of whether it was medically necessary you were flown or not. We see so many denials for flights where the insurance company says, we agree you needed to go somewhere, but in our opinion, it wasn't medically necessary that they put you in a helicopter. We're not paying the bill. Happens all the time, and it got worse since 2013. In 2013, we had 800,000 members as part of our membership. We've been around since the early 80s. 2013, 800,000. Today we have almost 4 million. And the reason that is because insurances do not pay flight bills anymore like they used to. And at best you're gonna have a 80-20, right? So our plans, we offer a $9 a month plan that's designed for people on fixed income, or if that's all you can afford, it's $9 a month. Because you're city employees, you get the senior rate on the back of that card I gave you. There should be prices on there. You get the senior pricing benefit. So a 1-year plan will cost you $65 as opposed to $85. A 3-year plan is $185 as opposed to $240, and so on and so forth. We do also offer, besides the 10-year plan, we offer 20, 30, 40, and 50-year plans for people who just want to pay for it and get it over with. Once you pay for the membership, if you pick a 5-year plan, let's say, then you are covered for 5 years and you're protected from any of our price increases. So again, this is not an insurance. This is a true membership, and it guarantees you 100% coverage should anybody living in your home get flown for an unexpected medical emergency. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, you mentioned that if you had to take a trip in for Flight for Life, you have your membership fee in place, you bill the insurance, and then there's no bill coming to us individually, correct?
Right.
If you don't have insurance.
Great question. I'm glad you asked that. And the reason I'm glad you asked that is because a lot of employers will cover their employees, but it's too expensive to put additional members on. So then those members aren't covered. If you do not have insurance, we guarantee, it's the same guarantee, you won't get a flight bill at all. It's 100% coverage. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that.
What if you fly on a different aircraft?
If you fly on an aircraft that is not part of our network, then you're gonna get billed just like you didn't have the membership. And you're gonna have to deal with their billing and their claims department. Now for Northeast Colorado, we've got great coverage for Northeast Colorado. We've got 6 aircraft that can actually fly into the Sterling area. So the coverage is good. Most hospitals, Holyoke is a great example of this. Holyoke has a helicopter sitting at the hospital. And even though that hospital is a Banner Health hospital, which is what you can see on that picture, we are a Banner Health provider. They put an aircraft out there that's not part of anybody's network. So people in Holyoke that get flown and they get flown by that aircraft, they're gonna wind up looking at a $50,000 to $80,000 flight bill. But those hospitals, they do honor the membership program. So if they know you have it and they're gonna fly you out, if they know ahead of time that you have this, they're gonna call the right aircraft in to get you flown out. It takes about an hour to get somebody transferred out of a hospital. By the time they meet all the state requirements that have to be met so that they can't, those are put into place so hospitals couldn't dump patients on down the line. So they've got it, and it takes about an hour to get that taken care of. So there's usually plenty of time to get an aircraft in, but good question. Yeah, we don't cover anybody's bill that's not part of our network. Okay, any other questions?